Shakalaka! The Knicks are grit. These kids and our party ain't just lit. Bet it's the littest. You know we lit. You know we lit. You know we lit. You know we lit. Turn up, no we lit. Turn up. You know we lit. Let's go deep time. You know we lit. Mrs. Knicks should. You know we lit. Kev, what up? You know we lit fresh, that's the Pearl A Lord. You know we lit Knickerbocker, have a talk to him. Let's go! Spins in this. We lit.
Yeah. It is time to talk that ish. I'm your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker Ave, and you already know who she is. She is the first lady of Knicks and Ish, Mrs. Knicks. So please, if you will, kindly, please like, comment, and subscribe to your favorite panel. Shout out to Tea Time, shout out to Crash, shout out to Kev Rodriguez. Hopefully they all, either one of them all pull up. But the New York Knicks take care of business at Madison Square Garden, coming back from 21 points down to defeat the Golden State Warriors 110-107. I don't know how to feel about this. I'm glad we got the W, but Mrs. Knicks, lead us off. We'll get to the comments in a second, but how you feeling?
The same way I felt last game. I feel like we played with our food and got very lucky, because although this was an inexperienced team, they were hot. And, you know, I don't know that this team learned from the last game, and that bothers me as a fan. We played a gold depleted, very depleted. They were missing like 8 players, 8 of their key players, and we only beat them by 3. That's completely unacceptable, at least in my eyes. We played down to their, down to our competition, down to what we thought they were, and they came out and showed out. 23 assists, it's not okay, especially when you were playing this type of team. I'm just still not happy at all. I mean, there was upsides to it, but ultimately this was a game we should have won by 20, 25 points easily, yet we found ourselves down by 21 against a fucking G League team, to be quite honest. Yeah, I'm not happy. I don't even know what to say at this point.
I don't know what to say either, because obviously, I was doing double duty. I was watching both this game and the WBC, Dominican Republic versus the United States. Shout out to the United States for pulling up the victory, 2-1 final. They advanced to the World Baseball Classic Finals for the 3rd consecutive tournament. And shout outs to Mi Patria, the Dominican Republic. Also, shout out to Puerto Rico, who was eliminated yesterday by Team Italy, which we'll talk about that a little bit if we get to it. But tonight's game was bad. But what I have been noticing across the league, there's been a lot of track games, and I'm not liking it. I mean, the good news is that the teams that are ahead of us are also losing. Detroit lost. Boston lost. Toronto beat Miami earlier. What up, Darlene? How you doing, mommy? The reality is that the Knicks should have dog walked these Warriors, but I can't even pronounce this kid's name. What is it? Podziemski. He lit it up tonight. 8 for 15 from the field, 25 points. And then you had Post, being the double machine that he's been for, the last few games for the Golden State Warriors. And I'm just really getting irritated with these kind of performances. Yes, glad that we get the win. We'll probably forget about this in about a week or two, but this level of performance from this team with this much talent, I'm sorry, but I have to start calling people out. Josh Hart, I know he just came back from an injury. He missed 2 games, but where has he been? I mean, 7 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. This is what Josh Hart does, but I need something from him. And I'm sorry, I can't disguise this any further. Mikal Bridges, 21 minutes, 3 for 10 shooting, 1 for 6 from downtown. Luckily he hit that one, to kind of put us over and put us over the top, down the stretch. But when you're playing a team that's missing their top 8, and you're basically, like Sis said, playing a G League team, what is going on that you can't, that you have to struggle and come back from 21 points down? Again, I understand that this is a professional team. They're going to do what they do. You know what I'm saying? And I get that, but are we coasting? I mean, is there anything positive that can come from this aside from the fact that we ended up with the victory? What do you think? Because I'm trying to find something good to talk about. I mean,
to me, the good that has come out of it is, one, we're getting Cat involved.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. Because again, once he's involved offensively, you see effort. Steven is just a Jalen Brunson hater. I don't pay.
He's just an angry young man
When it comes to Jalen Brunson, because he finished with 9 assists, so he can't quite be a ball hog. So, like I said, Cat being involved, and seeing JC become helpful again. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is a good thing because he's the veteran of the team. Let's just be honest. And we're going to need him come playoff time. And so, shout out to him for staying ready and being productive when he's been in at least the last 3 to 4 games, and really has, created a spot for him in the rotation again.
Right.
So that was good to see, or has been good to see, because we've needed it. We've needed it because when everyone else is struggling, he seems to be that spark plug coming off the bench.
Which kind of leads into my next question, because obviously Jordan Clarkson has kind of won himself back the good graces of Mike Brown, especially in that performance against Utah and that's in tonight's game against the Warriors. But what kind of a lineup, or how many minutes do you? Because what I have noticed is that you brought back JC into the rotation. You scaled back Alvarado's minutes because he was almost non-existent. 15 minutes, a couple of points, a few assists here and there. I mean, I'm not saying that, but the reality is that you see now that Clarkson's getting the minutes. Alvarado's minutes went back down. Diawara only played 11 minutes. How's this going to look in a couple of weeks when Deuce McBride comes back? and what's it going to be? And what's going to be this? The overall rotation, because they're going to shorten that rotation to 8, maybe 7 players. So who's going to get some burn during the playoffs, depending on the matchup?
I have no idea. Because I think everyone in our lineup has something to bring. So I really think it depends on, one, who we're playing, right. 2, who has it and doesn't have it. And unfortunately for us, sometimes the guys that don't have it, we need on the court for defensive purposes or other reasons, right? So Josh Hart not being, scoring wise what he's been prior to this injury, we still need his hustle. We still need his rebounding. You know what I mean? Mikal Bridges, although he's been struggling the last few games, you still need his defense. And so whose minutes Deuce gets and where does he fit in? I have no idea. I have no idea. I will say this, 27 minutes for Landry Shamet to me is a lot when he shot 3 for 10. And he's been a little off the last few games.
Yes,
So we can cut back on that and put him at the 22 mark and give those 5 minutes elsewhere. Other than that, I have no idea. We could have probably today cut Josh's minutes down some. He had 31. But we needed every one of the 36 minutes from Brunson. We need every one of the 31 minutes from Cat. So yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. I think it's definitely going to be a matchup issue. Depends on who got a hot hand.
Steven, again, some of his comments can be like so crazy. Deuce gets 8 to 12 minutes. No, he's getting 20. That's a given. He's getting a 20. He might get 8 to 12 maybe the first 5 games he's back, but if it's anything close to playoff time, he's going right back up to 20. And I'm guessing that you're going to probably cut a little bit of minutes from Mo. You're going to cut some minutes from Alvarado. If Alvarado even gets off the bench anymore after that, because they're not going to want to do that. Clarkson will more than likely still get some minutes here and there, and then you're going to Mitch, but then the starters minutes they're all going to be up in the 30+ range. You just mentioned it. Brunson had 36 minutes. Cat and Josh Hart both had 31. OG had 29. Mikal had 21. Clarkson luckily had 22, and Shamet had 27. That's pretty much the table of the tape. I did not like that. That you really needed to have Jalen Brunson really work overtime, and when now you've seen enough of the last 5 games. The last 5 games, you can just look at it. Jalen Brunson, even though they've been brilliant performances, he's had to work twice as hard against, ambitious, younger, and bigger defenders. So what are what is your adjustment? You need someone else to, fortunately, you have a Karl-Anthony Towns, who just came back tonight, but he wasn't there in Indiana. He wasn't there at Utah. I mean, how do you get around that? And that's the part where I'm like, Mike Brown really needs to start being a coach and start drawing up some plays where you can either draw Jalen Brunson as a decoy, you draw Karl-Anthony Towns as a decoy, and not only just keep on running the same 4 or 5 plays where the end result is a corner 3.
I agree with you, but then I disagree on one part in Jose not getting minutes. I think that to me has been the one thing that has irked my nerve a little bit. That not only have we cut his minutes down, but that we are not seeing him with Brunson playing. Because when he first came on the team and we played them two together, it worked so well. It worked so well. And I think he's going to be also key in the playoffs because, again, teams are going to put so much pressure on Brunson that we need a facilitator on the court. And while we love Deuce, and Deuce has been amazing for us in, his entire Knicks career, let's just be 100%. He ain't a facilitator. He like Brunson, is an undersized shooting guard. So it needs to be Jose and Brunson on the court. It will take a lot of pressure off Brunson. It will help the offense flow. And let's not act like he can't score. He can. He can. And so if you choose to double Brunson and leave Jose, then we'll let Jose go ape shit on y'all.
that's the one thing that I kind of like. I've been missing in the last few games. I haven't been seeing that energy that only Jose Alvarado brings. Maybe Deuce McBride can jolt that kind of electricity and that energy. You haven't been getting that, especially off the bench. I mean, yeah, Jordan Clarkson had that in Utah, and he had a pretty good game in Indianapolis. But aside from that, you haven't been really getting a lot of anything except the same 20 minutes. From Mitchell Robinson, 10 rebounds, nothing to sneeze at. But the crazy thing is that I haven't really seen any kind of dynamic offensive schemes or anything new. And I know that somebody said it in his comments, and I've heard this repeatedly. It's like, well, he's holding some things to the bag, close to his chest, and then he's going to reveal that during playoff time. How is that going to work if the guys don't even know how to run the plays, if they're not accustomed to do it? They've been so accustomed to running this, this same 5 sets over and over and over again. 4 out of the 5 resulting in corner threes. And when the shots are not falling, then what is your plan B? You're gonna have to go back to the well with Brunson. You have to go back to the well with Cat, where they have to both at the start at the top of the key work 3 times as hard to get down to, get into the paint for them to either find a good high percentage shot, or they have to kick it out for an open 3 that may or may not go down. I mean, tonight, what did we shoot? We shot we shot 46% from the field, 10 for 32 behind the arc. Not to say that Golden State did any better. They went 14 for 38, but still, I mean, we need a little. There should be a huge, there should be a huge difference between what the Knicks are able to do versus their opponent. And in the last 3 games, I have not seen it, and it's really annoying me, because if you then look at the schedule, I mean, I'll pull it up right now. Look at the remaining schedule. This should be practice. This should be practice. We got Indiana. We're then in Brooklyn, which is another home game. Then we got Washington, New Orleans, Charlotte, and then the only 2 games that you really have to worry about are, in Oklahoma City, which who knows if if everybody plays that by then, or they start sitting guys out. Same thing with Houston, and then Boston. More than likely, that's unless playoff seeding is in jeopardy, they're going to probably sit most of their guys, so they're not going to play. This is where you should be really working on getting more minutes for some of the guys. Like at this point, I would love to see more Jeremy Sohan. I mean, that'd be nice. He got a DMP. I would love to see more Eric Hukporty. Shit, get Tyler Kolek involved again. If the deal is to to get some of these guys conditioned so that way you can alleviate some of the pressure that Jalen Brunson has to carry the burden. We all know he's going to be doing that during the playoffs, and especially during crunch time. If it's within 5, the ball's going to him. But do you really want to stack the deck against him, or do you want to open it up a little bit and have some more shooters, have some more players, have some more guys who can create? Maybe make it a little bit easy for him. Maybe start giving us a little bit of breathing room, so that way, once you enter the playoffs, who you're facing, what you're going to be facing against, you can get around it. I don't know. That's just my method of thinking. But what the hell do I know?
I mean, I don't think it's practice, to be honest, because some of those teams are actually going to be playing for something. Seeding. You look at Charlotte, who's been playing great basketball lately. You look at Atlanta, who's been playing great basketball lately. They're fighting for, better positioning, let's say. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're still in there. They can get in to the playoffs and not be in the play-in if they continue to play well. So they have things to play for. So I don't think we should be taking any team lightly, because you see what happens when we do nights like tonight. What up, T?
Ladies and gentlemen, you know who he is. He is the host of
Spark Club.
There he is. Tea time. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
And shit, how y'all, man? You know, cardiac Knicks once again. You know, you keeping the heart racing, the blood pumping, keeping us youthful. You know, on a game that should have absolutely been a blowout. You know what I mean? But it's something to be said about resiliency because we could have packed it up early. Fucking Warriors was hot. The curly head kid was going crazy.
Zemski.
Yeah, whatever his name is. I'm not even gonna pretend like I could pronounce that. I can't. He was going crazy, and the post kid was going crazy. You know what I mean? But you know, the different. I don't know if y'all said this already, but I'm probably gonna repeat some of y'all takes. The difference is what happened in the second half and the end of the second quarter. We started going to the basket. Look at that. Look what happens. We missed 18 threes in a row. And then we started going to the basket. And look what happens. You get the W. But for whatever reason, these last few games, I feel like we've been lackluster on the defensive end. Tonight was no different. That need to be fixed coming into the postseason. Yeah, Neil, that's a fact. Mike, was good. Yeah, now that's a fact. You know, but that's also too. The train about to come in the station, so I'm gonna mute myself. Yeah.
New York City living.
No, I agree with what he was about to say. You know, or what he did say was, you know, we started going into the paint. I think seeing Cat be involved in the paint, playing bully ball, which we've been seeing for the last few games, that's the way to go. When the three isn't going, it has to snap. Plan B. We cannot shoot, like T-Time said, 18 threes and miss 18 threes. That's just not smart basketball. And in the playoffs, that will lose you a game.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're not familiar, just look at last playoffs, and just look at what happened to the Celtics. The Celtics shot themselves out of the gym. Plus, the Knicks, you know, cranked up to the intensity and physicality on the defensive end, and they started hitting their threes. So that tends to happen. What up, Jeremy? How you doing, brother? It's been a minute. The reality is that this is why I'm with Darlene, and I know, sis, you're with me on this one. I don't have the faith and confidence in Mike Brown to come up with something different and be ready come playoff time. I mean, fortunately, we have a couple of more weeks, but still, you know, how do you explain some of these performances and you not reacting or at least coming up with something to kind of circumvent that? Fortunately, we came up with the W and you put in Jordan Clarkson. But at some point, you're going to run out of freaking, toys out of the cupboard to utilize.
I'm very happy that Jordan Clarkson not only is playing well, especially was good. Hey, make sure y'all hitting that like button, man. You know the vibes. Make sure you hitting that like button, bless the super chat, all that good shit. But yeah, you know it's good that he's pulling up and playing well at this time too. You feel me? Like going into the playoffs, you know you're gonna need somebody who's an absolute bucket and can get a bucket whenever he sees fit, you feel me? But like you said, sometimes it look like Mike Brown just be trying shit, you feel me? This ain't going the way I expected. Let me see what's gonna happen if I throw this guy out there, you feel me? But
it's like he's reading Coaching for Dummies book. It's something like that. It's like, oh, next page.
But I also feel like this. You can't have it both ways, right? Because we kind of like, when I say we, I'm talking about Knicks fans as a collective. We kind of killed Coach Tibbs for not doing such a thing. You feel me? Like he was very rigid in his rotation. And he's like, yo, something's not working. You need to try something different. So we can't necessarily be super mad at Mike Brown for doing something that we kind of complain that the other guy didn't do. You know what I mean? Like, it's a double-edged sword, but I do agree he be looking like, oh shit, like, oh, we get packed up by the fucking Golden State. Hey Jordan, Jordan, we can't score right now. Go do some shit. But nah. Tonight was a very frustrating game to watch. Throughout I told you how I am when they start chucking the 3-point shots. I start getting my sigh on. I'm sitting there. Every time
That's all of us.
Every time they shoot a 3, I was sighing like, oh, here we go. And again, OG Anunoby got to stop taking contested threes. Like it just, and it's not like it's late in the shot clock. It's just like, yo, you just like, I feel like I'm Steph. I feel like
I think they all have the go ahead from this game to just do it.
Yeah, they got green lights. They all have green lights.
Got the green light.
But Darlene is in the building. What's good, sis? But you already know, like, I get them having a green light, but I also hear the coach talking about taking the right 3-point shot. You feel me? Like, it ain't just take 3-point shots. It's the right 3-point shots. A lot of times we don't be taking the right 3-point shots. A lot of them be off balance, fading to the left, contested. They don't be good. I could live with us missing open joints. If you wide open, pause. I don't even like. If you're open, if you wide open, that's crazy. If you're open, take the 3-point shot. But like that contested, I'm a jab step, and then I'm just gonna try to shoot over the defense. You're not Dame Lillard. You're not James Harden. You're not Steph Curry. You feel me? You're none of those guys. You're good 3-point shooters, above average, but let's be realistic here. You feel me? Like, and I'm glad that they finally had some common sense and started going to the cup. And I salute the Cap for ushering that wave in, because he was the only one in the first quarter and a half that was scoring below the 3-point line. And then Cat started to join the party, and then everybody else started to follow suit and be an aggressive attacking the rim. I'm sitting there looking like, yo, I know we not scared of this post kid in the paint. No way.
What is he, a third stringer?
Bro, I don't even think he was drafted, yo. I could be wrong, but he's definitely a G leaguer for sure. He could shoot his ass off, though, but he's definitely a G leaguer for sure. Yeah, I mean, and we made him look like a fucking all-star tonight. That's nasty work.
Career night.
All right. So let's also bring him in. The co-host. What's good, brother? How you doing? And you're muted.
Okay. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? Rough game.
Yeah, for sure.
Game. That was a rough game, man. I was like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, how you down 21? I mean, we cut it down to 9 at the end of the half, but I really thought we was gonna lose this game, man, because I see the Warriors, like, all their best players is out. So basically, we playing against second and third stringers. The guy Gui Santos and Brandon Post and fucking, I can't pronounce his last name. Huh?
Podzemski.
Damn, I said the same shit too.
I started that way, so y'all following me in that case. Fuck that. I tried.
Even Gary Payton Jr., like, bro, they was packing us up. Like, they have 4 guys above 20 points except Gary Payton. He had 19. You could say he had 20 almost, but they definitely had a game plan coming into the Garden, and they were showing out, man. Like, I'm glad that towards the first half, going into the second half, the Knicks kind of turned it around, started playing better defense, taking better shots. I see Cat being more aggressive, taking it to the cup. I saw even, which I haven't seen in a while, fucking Josh Hart go coast to coast. You know, like I missed that. You know, I feel like I haven't seen that in a while. You know, and just playing better defense because obviously in that first half, you know, the Warriors were doing whatever they wanted with us, pause. So I'm glad that they were able to figure out whatever they did wrong in the first half and then fix it in the second half. I mean, all the way to the end, you know, the Warriors made it a game to like seconds down one. I'm like, Jesus, yo, are they really gonna pull it out here in Madison Square Garden? I think this would have been an embarrassing loss for the Knicks, man, if had we lost. Um, I'm glad these guys stepped up when we needed them most and started taking over because I did not want to go into tomorrow with a loss.
Good facts. Yo, Kev, you mentioned the Santos kid. One thing that was pissing me off is how they kept on getting cooked by the same move by this kid. The up and under step through. Oh my God, bro. He hit that move like 5 times in a row. It worked every time.
And why nobody ever call it travel? Because every time I see it, I'm like, yo, he's traveling. No, he's traveling. Yo, he's traveling straight up, dog. I'm like, I know there's a Euro step thing, but like every time he did that move, it was always like, is this dude traveling? Like, it's like 3 steps in between.
Yo, and then talking about travel, the kid name that I can't pronounce.
Gadzemski.
The last layup he scored, when he caught the ball, my son straight moonwalked. He hit the Michael Jackson moonwalk. I was like, so we not gonna call that a trap? He shuffled his feet like he was James Brown and performing Sex Machine. You feel me? He shuffled his feet just like it. It ain't called nothing, but you know, it is today's NBA. But that Santos kid was killing Josh Hart with that move, boy. He was killing Josh with that move. I was like, yo, bro, you got to catch on at some point, yo. You, you got to catch on at some point. It's the same move every time.
That poor 3-point shooting in the first half was killing me. And I'm like, when are y'all gonna understand that it's not going down? When are we gonna start cutting to the basket and doing all that other stuff? You know, I know they figured it out later in the second half, but I'm like, yo, I think at one point we were like 3 for 14 and we still chucking up shots. I'm like, bro, come on, man.
I think what really pisses me off about that whole thing is that when the shots are not dropping, the defense also suffers because it's like if the shots are not dropping, their motivation on defense. Obviously, they're human. I understand that, but you know, if your shot is not falling, get your monkey ass back on D, cover your man, and let's get some points on the other end. I mean, it's just common sense. If they're clogging the paint, you know, how about we start playing some defense and run some things in transition, get some more fast break points. I think that was another thing that that really annoyed me was just the numbers. Look, I mean, which one was it? I think it was which number was it? I think it was either the turnovers. Yeah, 18 turnovers. We got 21 points off of that, off of Golden State's turnovers. Out of the 15 of ours, they got 22. I mean, if it's one thing to limit ours, but can we capitalize more on theirs? And then where's that other number that I was looking for? Points? Was it this one? I mean, that number should be a whole lot higher. 15 fast break points.
Yeah.
And then our bench is a whole lot more better than theirs because hell, most of the team that was out there tonight was bench. So that shouldn't have happened. But
two things could be true at the same time. I agree with your statement that that the defense does suffer when the shots are not falling. But along this coincides with the fast break points and the defense as well, right? On our end, when we're not hitting the 3-point shots, that leads into transition baskets and quick offense for them. And it's not so much that we're not playing great defense. It's just the natural flow of the game. You get easier shots off for 3-point misses than you do off for 2-point misses and made baskets, right? So, but two things, like I said, two things could be true at the same time. We're not playing as hard, and they're getting easier shots. Uh, and as far as our transition go, they were making it 3-point shots. So it didn't allow for as many transition or fast break baskets. The turnovers did, and I think that's where we get the 15 points from. But they was shooting lights out. They couldn't miss shit. You know what I mean? But to your point, you all right. We need to get better at playing defense or getting back on defense when the shots are not falling. But offensively, you know, Cat came on late in the game, and we've seen that a lot lately. I need him to start off the game with that kind of aggression. I need him and JB to set the tone and have the rest of the team catch up. Right? Like I need Cat do what he was in the post today. Give me the rock. And that's really when the comeback started to happen. When we started, you know what I mean? And we started working on it. That fadeaway was tough. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, look, it is not too many people in the NBA that could guard Cat. Yo, I'm out of here. My train is pulling up. Peace to y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. I holla. Peace, y'all.
Later, bro.
Yeah, it's
It's true, man. Like the way they started in that first quarter, I'm like, man, we can't keep starting off games like that all the time. It's been a problem all season long. So, you know, I don't know what they gotta do, but they gotta do something.
you're muted, sis.
Against good teams, we're not coming back in 21. You know what I mean? So we absolutely have to start off strong. We can't allow ourselves to go down like that and teams just be hot on us. Because veteran teams, great basketball teams, once they're hot, they may not cool down. And so we'll be fighting an uphill battle all game. So yeah, we have to start off stronger. And I think JB said it in his post game. Mike Brown also said it in his post game that they weren't happy how we started the game. But you know, y'all can say it, but I need to see actions because this ain't game one that we started off weak. This ain't game two that we started off weak. This has been a recurring issue all damn season. So you know, kill the talk. We want to see it on the court.
That is actually the most valid point because you were just saying that against good teams. Because in the playoffs, that's all you're playing. You know, they got there for a reason. If the playoffs were to start tomorrow morning, if let's say this is it, the Knicks would stay at 3, 1 game behind the Boston Celtics, so that can change in the next couple of weeks. But if it started tomorrow, we would open up round 1 at Madison Square Garden against the Toronto Raptors. You could probably do that with them. But then you go into round 2 against the Boston Celtics.
But you can't do that against them. You can't because Scotty Barnes, he's nasty. We know Quickly could get hot. And if Quickly is hot from 3 early on, who's going to stop him on the Knicks? Please tell me. We already know what RJ brings. You know what I mean? We can't allow not even a team like Toronto to play us the way Golden State played us today because if they do, we lose.
But also remember this, though. Both of those guys aren't great performers in the playoffs. We saw what Quickly did with us in the playoffs.
No, you're right.
Complete no-show.
No. I agree with you. I'm saying put that Toronto team players in today's game against us. If they play the way the Warriors played us today and we started off just that slow, we lose.
Right.
Right. And they have been playing a whole lot better as of late. They beat the Detroit Pistons the other night.
And let's not. We know they play with a chip on their shoulder against us, RJ and Quickly.
They do.
Don't think they wouldn't be happy as hell to eliminate the Knicks in the playoff series.
No, of course.
They'd eat that up. The crazy thing is like, it would be like the second time in a row, or like the because the last time we played them in the playoffs, they eliminated us. So I've been holding on to that since 2000, 2001. That's when it happened. I've been holding on to that shit because like I keep receipts that long. That's what it's crazy. I keep receipts that long. It's like, yeah, we got to beat them, even though it wasn't even the same team or the same players or the same coach or even the same era. It's like, nope, I still hold that in my head. But what's crazy is that the teams, I'd say 5 through 10 can still be decided over the next couple of weeks. Orlando can fall off, Toronto can fall off, Miami can keep on slipping. The Sixers can, if they get healthy enough, they can jump into the 5 hole, rather quickly. Atlanta's been playing better, as you alluded to. They're on a 9-game winning streak. And then you look at the Charlotte Hornets, who are so young. I don't think that they're experienced enough, but they can pull off an upset. Why not? And Charlotte's been waiting for a playoff game forever. So I'm pretty damn sure that if you give them the right opportunity, they will come in to out hustle you. And if you let yourself get out hustled, and outplayed, first round exit. Very simply can become a first round exit. I'm not concerned about any of those teams, but I'm not going to sleep on them either. I mean, I think we gentlemen sweep pretty much everybody there, but I don't like how we're starting. And I'm not expecting a 40-point blowout every game, but I'm expecting at least some level of assertion of dominance, considering that you're playing now to lesser competition. I mean, and then you look again at that schedule. The schedule tells you right there, you only have 2 games, maybe 3, that you really have to concern yourself with, and that's the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, and then maybe the Celtics at the end, depending on where we are in terms of playoff seeding. I'm not worried about the Toronto game. That's a throwaway. Come on, Chicago, Memphis, Charlotte, New Orleans, Washington, Brooklyn, please.
And you got to remember, all these teams are playing for like either spoiler. A lot of these players are huh?
They're already eliminated.
Yeah, but they trying to like spoil people's, slots, I guess you could call it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like even like teams that are trying to make the playoffs, like the playing team, they trying to ruin all that. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of these players, they trying to show, maybe try to win a spot for next year. Show the organization, what they about. So that plays a lot into like what happened today.
For sure.
All these main guys out. You got that guy Santos. He's trying to play for a starting spot next year. The kid, all them guys, Gary Payton Jr., he's probably trying to play for a contract. So we're gonna get a lot of that from here on out, even from these bum ass teams that we are supposed to be blowing out. But you gotta remember also going into the end of the season. These little bum ass teams, they might not be playing for a playoff spot, but you got players on that team either trying to play for money, to get money, or to try to earn a spot, or etc.
Yep. And to go back to that schedule, when you talk about Boston, we're that close with them that a loss for them and a win for us brings us up. So I doubt that they sit anybody. I think Tatum will want to make a statement against us since we took them out with him on the court. So that's a game that I doubt they would bench their starters, even with it at the end of the season, especially because we're that close to them, and I think we own the tiebreaker, right?
We do.
Right. So a loss for them, a win for us takes us up to 2, takes them down to 3.
Yeah, but would it really matter to them 2 to 3? Because 2 to 3, I mean, it's still the same route. It would be different if Cleveland was playing better and they would be on our heels as well. And then that would actually heat up that intensity, because now 2 through 4 can shift. Because I mean, as much as I would love to think that the Knicks can catch the Pistons, I don't think they will. So 2 through 4, if that was a much more tighter race, that can flip at any given moment, and you can possibly have either the Knicks, the Celtics, or the Cavaliers as 2 through 4, depending on what order you want to go in. But that's because Cleveland's been playing like shit lately. I don't know what's going on with them, other than I told you so. I don't think that's that much better.
But then, do we bench our players? Absolutely not.
Oh no. I'm benching our players under any circumstance makes no sense.
So then, why would they?
Because they're more fragile than we are. Tatum obviously is a lot more fragile, still coming back from that injury. I don't know what the status is with Harden and Spider over in Cleveland. I haven't checked on to see what the Pistons are doing, if Cade's back or anything like that.
He's back.
Oh, he is? And they still lost to the Raptors. That's just crazy to me. But they're also falling into trap games too. And it's, as long as they continue to fall down, and I mean, we can have these bad performances. If we start getting W's, that's still, that's the key portion of it. But I mean, I think they need to be playing a whole lot better than this. Get into that rhythm, because you don't want to be walking into the playoffs and you're still playing like ass.
Yep, I agree. I'm just looking at the Raptors Pistons stuff. I mean, they played a hell of a good game. When you look at Ingram had 34, Barnes had 14, Podol, or however you say his name, had 21.
Cool.
RJ had 27. I mean, that's what I was just saying earlier about them. Like, they're not a team to sleep on.
Well, I would then just have to say then, when will these New York Knicks finally wake up? Because they sleepy.
I mean, I know the playoffs is different, but I think that we played against Toronto pretty well this season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think we swept them.
Yes.
We swept them. So, and I think we swept them like we blew them out in every game. I think maybe 2 out of the 3 or whatever. So, I think when the Knicks come to play, man, the playoffs are different. They in the playoffs, the Knicks play different. You know what I mean? And I think we'll be ready.
So,
Steven, don't put the comment up, but I'm gonna say something. Jalen don't want to average 30. Jalen wants to win basketball games. Let's not play this game. Right? Cade needs to average 30 to win. Yes, I agree with that. Brunson doesn't want to average 30. Brunson, thus far from what I've seen, has needed to, because the Knicks have underperformed most of the nights he scored 30. So he doesn't want to. He just wants to win basketball. He's going to do whatever it takes to win. And if that means scoring 30, if that means scoring 40, 50, 60, then that's what he's going to do to win. But nah, he's not a ball hog. You could dead that shit. And he's doing what it takes. And if you're not happy with that as him being the captain, then go root for Cade in Detroit. Because you just badmouth Brunson at any every game you can. I mean, are you a Knicks fan or not? Because shit, for how many seasons have we not had a fucking point guard? And now we have one, and it's a fucking problem every time he does something.
Yeah.
And you know, he had 9 assists today.
I'm saying,
he's averaged 9
Somebody with the
assists.
ball.
He's averaged 9 assists
I'm
in the last
fucking
10
saying.
games. What more does he
Yeah,
want?
9 assists for somebody that's a ball hog, bro.
I'm serious. People complain constantly about our current Knicks players. What was the biggest knock on Melo? That he wasn't LeBron. Who are you mad that Jalen Brunson is not? That he's not Steph Curry or that he's not Damian Lillard? I mean, what do you want him to be? Oh, not a ball hog. Well, he's the fucking star. He's the only one who creates. He's the only one that actually performs on a consistent basis. Towns had
It's just crazy to me that people call Brunson a ball hog and their favorite Nick is Melo. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking saying.
Yeah,
Melo, I think only averaged like 3 assists a game his whole career.
And again, Melo didn't have a fucking team to share the ball with. And not saying the Knicks don't have a team, because we do, but fuck, they don't show up every night.
They don't. Especially against a good team. Now it's like, now we're struggling against the bad team.
All right. That last comment, I'm going to address it to you like this, Stephen. If you are a Knicks fan, all that fucking matters is if we win. I honestly don't give a flying fuck who's on the team as long as we win. If you don't know me by now, if you don't know Mrs. Knicks by now, if you don't know Kev by now, Tea Time, what up, Kate? If you don't know us by now, because we'll call out every single player when they don't perform. But let me introduce you to this concept. It's the name on the front, never the name on the back. So if Jalen, for some weird reason, gets fucking traded tomorrow and we get somebody else, well, yeah, thank you, Jalen, for the years of contributions that you did, but now go fuck yourself. That's pretty much how it is. We may agree or disagree on that case, but the reality is that if you're a Knicks fan, you got to support the dude that's wearing your uniform right now. And on top of that, the same dude that gave up $122 million to stay here and be the captain. I don't know what you want from him. I don't know what it is that you want him to do. You say you want the ball to move, but when the ball, you do understand that 9 assists is because he passed the ball and your boy scored, right? How about all the times that he didn't? All the times that they didn't score? All those passes that he makes that doesn't result in a field goal. They don't count to nothing. Because that doesn't get so when it doesn't get counted, you want to overlook that. He's moving the ball. He's being a point guard. He's being a facilitator. What more do you want from him? Just ask. Make it make sense for me, please. Because for so many years, Mrs. Nixon said it. We've been dying for a point guard. We finally get one, and now, that's not the right point guard. What is the one? What is the right point guard then? What do you want from him? Him to average 40? Seriously, make it make sense for me, and I will subscribe to whatever you want me to. But until you can give me some valid facts.
And then he says, Melo hard and you and play with role players.
But
other than Cat, who's a star on this team? So JB's playing with role players. Let's not act like Melo didn't have stat. Let's not act like Melo didn't have help, because he also played on teams with the vets who had a season of their life as a Knick. He played with, granted it was limited games, but even when he played with Jeremy Lin, he didn't really help. It didn't work, right? Like, let's not act like he didn't have a number two. Let's not act like Ewing didn't have a number two. Granted, they were role players that created their names as Knicks, but let's not act like Ewing didn't have help. Let's not act like Bernard King didn't have help either.
Bro. There's no argument. It's like I'm waiting for the actual argument that makes sense because I'm giving him. So, yes, Ewing had the 2 for 18 starts. Yes, we're well aware of that. Amari Weinbath. Okay. So you're basically proving our point. When you don't have if you don't have the suitable co-star, which now Brunson does have, which is Karl-Anthony Towns, and then there are nights where Towns does not perform well, then you're just basically back to square one, which is JB. The only guaranteed thing you have. You cannot then say, well, I don't like him because he's a ball hog, but who the fuck is he going to pass the ball to? Himself?
The fact that you're laughing about Amari when prior to the Melo trade, Amari was having a fucking great season.
He was already in the MVP conversation before that.
The Knicks had role players playing like freaking superstars prior to the Melo trade. So let's not discredit stat.
But listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is what comes with it when you the star of the New York Knicks. This was all gonna happen when it comes to Jalen Brunson, bro. I already knew this was gonna happen. You know, they're gonna start blaming a lot of losses on him and et cetera, et cetera. They did the same thing to Melo. I'm pretty sure Steven did the same thing to Melo. He did the same thing to Melo, and I'm pretty sure if he was born, he did the same thing to Patrick Ewing. You know what I mean? So listen, man. I think that when it comes to the losses, it's not just a Jalen Brunson problem. It's a whole team problem. It's a New York Knicks problem. It's a head coaching problem. It's not the team, it's the coaching. Because a lot of the decisions the coaches make, you know, like Mike Brown sometimes, is the reason why we lose some of these games. Don't get me wrong, like some of the turnovers kills us, yes. But at the same time, you know, sometimes Jalen Brunson gotta do what he gotta do, bro. He's the star of this team, bro. You know what I mean? And you know, they don't call him Mr. Clutch for no reason. So if we in the fourth quarter and I need him to go off, listen, go off, bro. That's what stars do. That's what all the great.
You know why they call him Clutch? For reasons like this. For motherfucking reasons like this.
Brunson trying to turn the corner. Payton won't let him, so he pulls back and hits.
You know, like, you know, the Jalen Brunson's been doing it since he got here. He's been Mr. Clutch since he got here. There's no reason to doubt him. You know what, man? All the great players had their nights where they were off and then go and then light it up towards the end of the game or even before that. You know what I mean? So, you know, I feel like guys like Steven, you know, he's gonna be hard on our stars, whatever, bro. But it is what it is, man. Like Jalen Brunson has already proven to us he's capable of doing what he's supposed to do to help us win. And he holds himself accountable more than anybody else. so you know, I trust our captain. I do agree with Darlene though that we should get Cat more involved in towards the beginning of the game. Hell, we've been saying it all season that the ball should go through Cat. We've been saying this all season. I think that the Knicks will be way more dangerous, and it'll take a lot of pressure off of Jalen Brunson, and he'll probably have way more assists because you could, you know, him and Cat could do the pick and roll or even the, you know, pick and pop and all these other things that they can do with that offense. So I think Steven just likes to overreact. He was the same way with Julius Randle. You know, earlier with Cat, he was ready to trade Cat for Giannis. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. So
No,
that
correct that. Because he wanted to trade Brunson for Giannis.
Right. He wanted to trade Brunson for Giannis.
He wanted to trade Brunson for Giannis.
See what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's my guy, Steve. But Steve always be bugging out, man.
Bro, when Brunson brings us a chip, I better not see Steven saying anything good.
No. What's going to end up happening since I've been hearing a lot of that talk about, if Brunson brings a chip, we got to build him a statue. Steve will probably be that first dude, and I mean this is no disrespect. I actually feel that he would actually do this shit. Like if they actually did, if we win a title and freaking they put a statue of Jalen Brunson outside of Madison Square Garden, he'd be the first one to piss on it. Like dead ass. He'll just whip it out. I ain't that going to.
Bro, Steven, you can't have 9 assists and not facilitate for people, bro. Okay. I mean, for real, let's be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is times where Jalen Brunson does make bad decisions. I'm not gonna say he doesn't, but you can't tell me that somebody with 9 assists is a ball hog, bro. You can't tell me that, bro. He probably would have had like 13 tonight if guys made shots, maybe 14.
The crazy thing is that I bet with that logic, then you would exclude certain people from the Hall of Fame. Like you wouldn't consider Russell Westbrook a Hall of Famer. You wouldn't consider James Harden a Hall of Famer. You wouldn't consider any of these other guys a Hall of Famer because they don't facilitate. They're ball hogs, but they all average 10 assists or more, throughout their NBA career. So it's like that number completely defeats your whole argument. You can't say that they're ball hogs when their numbers say, "Oh, well, now they're stat stuffers." Okay, well that might actually be true, but you can't deny the fact that in order for you to stuff your stats, you have to have some talent. You have to be able to do the things that consist that. So please, all I'm asking is if you're gonna say he's a ball hog, make it make sense. Put some validity to your argument, except for the fact that you just don't like him. You don't like what he's doing. You think that he's taking something away from your favorite player, and then we'll just leave it at that. But you can't just go ahead and say he's a ball hog because I say he's a ball hog. Then we're not gonna take you seriously. Straight up. But that was funny. That was fun. That was fun. Salute to the captain. We will be back here on Tuesday night when the Knicks take on the Indiana Pacers.
I'm sorry, my bad, Av. I was on mute and I kept talking but you know what, man? Like these games like this is, preparing the Knicks for playoff situations. You know what I mean? Like tonight, we're down almost the whole first half. We're down 21 to a bunch of, you know what I mean? And they had to really fight hard and come back to win this game. So games like this, you come back and you start thinking like, damn, that Warriors game probably they go back to those games and you be like, yo, this probably this was the kick of it. This was the start of it. So hopefully these games help them out down the line.
I mean, we just need to build. We need to see improvement. And that's to me what I haven't been seeing. Remember last season when we would say it all the time, like these games build character. But we said it after they started making adjustments the next game and the game after that, right? This season, unfortunately, we've been seeing a little adjustment and then a step back. And then a little adjustment and then a step back. And to me, that's what's bothering me the most is that step back because, in order to truly adjust, you need to continue to progress. And so I haven't seen that type of progression this season. Hopefully, we got some more games to get it going. And I think, the Knicks really need to look in the mirror after today and be like, bro, what are we really trying to do right now? Because yes, we won, but under no circumstances was this a good win. And any Knicks fan that says it was, they don't really love the Knicks. Because this was terrible. And to be honest, we should have fucking lost. We deserved to lose. And it would have been the nastiest fucking loss of the season. And we've said that a few times this year, but given the fact that they were down 8 players, it's completely unacceptable. The Knicks really need to, look in the mirror as a team. They need to get one of them big ass mirrors, all of them stand in front of it at the same damn time and be like, what are we trying to do? Because we have to continue to step forward. We can't take a step back. We're too late in the season to take a step back. So yeah, we gotta figure it out.
You know what's crazy? This is the craziest thing, because if I ask you to right now, real quick, is this Knicks team better or worse than last year? Real quick.
When you say or worse, are you talking on or are you talking see?
Either one. Just rapid fire question. Are the Knicks better or worse than last year?
So to me, they're better on paper, but they're worse on the court.
Kev?
I think talent-wise, we're better, but I think last year's team, the coaching is worse, right?
You know what's so you want to hear the crazy thing? The Knicks this year, right at this very moment, have the same identical record than they did last year.
That's crazy.
Identical.
I think to me, the difference is the fire and desire. Last season, we saw a lot of fire and desire in them. This season, we've seen it in a couple of stints of games, but we haven't seen it, every single game. There hasn't been a game where I'm like, because I'm not going to lie, like Kev, when I seen us down 21, I'm sitting there, I'm laying down watching the game, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be one of those fucking games the Knicks give up. Last season, I never really said that. Last season, I'm like, all right, it's early, we going to come back. Because the Knicks just had it in them, and you can feel it. You can feel it in our own spirit. Like, they're not going to go down like that. And I don't feel that comfortable this season where I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, for example, last season in the playoffs, we down by 20 plus both games in Boston, right? Bro, we're there watching the game together practically in the chat, and we're like, they're going to come back. They're going to come back. This season, you put us against Boston in the playoffs and they're up by 21, same exact teams. I may not be that comfortable this season.
The Knicks last year were a whole lot more tougher. That team was tougher. That team had an identity. That team had an ego. They had a chip on their shoulder.
The crazy shit is, Knickerbocker, is that the majority of the team is still the same.
Right. That's the only thing that changed.
So defaults you to coaching.
Is the coaching.
You're
muted, Kev.
We have a better bench this year than last year.
Yes.
That's
definitely have a better bench. Like our starters, we're the same.
Yeah, our starters are the same.
And they don't have that. At least it doesn't come across on TV. Or even in-person games, because if you go into games in person, you don't see it much either. But they don't have that, like, killer mentality that they had last season. And the only, to me, difference is coaching.
That is the biggest thing.
That's why I think there's a coaching problem.
It is a coaching problem because the coach is supposed to set forth the identity. And so basically, he comes up with the game plan, says this is who we're going to be, and the team we're supposed to do that. Jeremy, we kind of touched that already, but that is also the thing that I've noticed. The same thing is that we need to get Mikal Bridges going. The one thing we all said when Mike Brown was hired, and what we all said throughout the season is that this is the system that Mikal Bridges should be thriving in offensively, and he was. I don't know where Mikal Bridges went. He's been missing for a month. Defensively, he's there. I mean, he's still getting cooked, but defensively, he's still there. And but the offensive numbers have just not been apparent. And it feels like it's been a month since I've seen Mikal Bridges have a big game or a good game.
I mean, I think part of getting him involved to me is allowing Mitty McCall to be Mitty McCall. I think this system doesn't work for him because it allows for a whole bunch of fucking threes, which is ultra annoying. You allow him to cook. And to me, the only way to get him re-involved in the offense is to allow him to be Mitty McCall. He got to see his shots go in. He has to get involved offensively in the paint. And until we see that, we may not see him thrive behind the three. But what's super crazy is we know he has it in him. Because game after game after game, including today, he hits huge fucking threes.
Yeah.
The problem is that he don't play aggressive enough.
He doesn't.
He doesn't play aggressive enough. The way I think he should, like attacking the basket. He don't attack the basket enough for my liking. Like I like that you attack, but then when he gets there, he takes that mini. Just take it to the cup, bro.
You know what? I don't think
that way at all.
I don't think that's his game, though, to be honest. I think McCall plays, and I didn't watch him a lot in Brooklyn or in Phoenix, so I could only speak for what I see him as a Knick. I think he plays really smart basketball in the way that he tries not to get hurt, right? I mean, it's clear. He's the Iron Man of the NBA. So he doesn't put himself in positions to get hurt. And so that's where that aggressiveness isn't there because he's not about to go, catch a body. He's not trying to get too close into the paint where there's going to be too much contact. He's more of a finesse. I'm play my game real smooth type player. That's just what I see in him.
If I have to compare his offensive game, it's almost like Kevin Durant-ish, where it's
Did you just
all
say
about
his name?
Yeah, I'm allowed to now. But it's almost in terms of fluidity. Like, when I see Durant play, it's not so much, strength or power. It's mostly finesse and rhythm. Mikal is kind of very similar to that, and I haven't been seeing that. And then I'm looking at his game logs. The last time he scored over 20 was back on March 1st in that San Antonio win, where we really needed him. The last game before that was the win in Philadelphia, and then the loss in Indianapolis in that overtime game, or against Indiana in that overtime game. And then after that, I mean, you see a lot of really bad shooting nights. 4 for 10, 4 for 9, 2 for 8, 5 for 12, 3 for 10. It's like he really needs to get into this, get his rhythm going, because we're going to desperately need that into those playoffs, because I don't know who it was that said it. Someone said in the chat, OG, Mikal, and Cat was what got us over the hump against Boston. OG, Mikal, and Cat were the ones that got us over Detroit. And why did they do that? Yes, Brunson is the closer. Brunson is going to still average 35 or 40, and he's going to be the killer, the one that gives you that final toll. But those are your workhorses. And obviously so is Josh Hart, because, Josh Hart just does what, he's the Swiss Army knife. But we really need to get Mikal Bridges back. he needs to start getting some more touches. He really needs to start looking for a shot. He cannot just be, just a corner 3-point shooter and continue to be on 2 for 8 nights and expect for us to win basketball games. The defense is just going to get worse as the season goes on and as we enter the playoffs. So I don't know. I don't know what's left for us at this point, aside from let's get ready for Tuesday and hope that Indianapolis doesn't give us a problem at home.
Oh, they will. Oh, they fucking will.
Oh, you know they will.
They will. We just did what we did to them. They will.
Not only that, but they've hated us since 1985. So for those that were not aware, they've hated us ever since 1985. And I can tell you exactly the reason why. 1985, they were supposed to get Patrick Ewing, and they didn't. We did. They got the number 2 pick, and they've called conspiracy ever since. But that's neither here nor there. But that will wrap us up for tonight, unless anyone has anything else. Thank you so very much, everyone, for joining us tonight. Please be sure to hit like, comment, and you subscribe to the channel. Continue to support Knicks and Ish. Sharing is always caring. Continue to copy the link, paste it on your social media feeds. Let people know that we're here. Let's continue to build the community and the environment. We love the vibes. We cherish every one of you, even you, Steven. We love you, man. Thanks for always coming on. Be sure to copy yourself some merch. Get yourself like that Knicks and Ish sweatshirt that my sister's wearing. You saw Tea Time wearing it earlier. Kev his is probably washing. We'll be back on Tuesday night when the Knicks take on the Pacers. But until then, for Tea Time, thank you for joining us, brother. For the co-host, Kev Rodriguez. For the First Lady, Mrs. Knicks, I'm your boy, the infamous one, Knickerbocker Avenue, saying keep on talking that ish, New York. We will see you on Tuesday night, and someone has to say it.
Hit the out.
Boom shakalaka!